that life is a journey, but we believe that it is through journeys itself that we actually experience life. It's on these journeys that we learn how to laugh, how to enjoy solitude, and how to enjoy the beauty and music that is all around us. So every week, we will be taking you on a journey. A journey to different places in India, as well as journeys into the lives of some of the most interesting people we know. So join us on the crowded highways, the little lanes, and the winding roads as we journey to discover India. So this is the highway we're going to be traveling on to start today's journey. We'll be traveling through arid lands, past lakes, through hills, and even maybe visit a palace or two. On our way, we'll be meeting two very interesting people. One, a royal designer, and the other, a very royal custodian of the world's oldest surviving dynasty, the House of Mewar. Welcome to Rajasthan. So I'm starting my journey from the middle of Rajasthan, the town of Ajmer, which is home to the famous Dargah Sharif of the Sufi saint Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. My entire journey will be divided into two parts. The first from Ajmer to Jodhpur, and then from Jodhpur to Udaipur. The entire distance will be around 450 to 500 kilometers, and I'll be covering it over a span of 2 days. So today I'll be covering the bit between Ajmer and Jodhpur. And on the way we'll be meeting a royal designer, he of the sophisticated Bandgalas, Mr. Raghavendra Rathore. And my trusty steed for today is the sophisticated, sleek and very powerful Mercedes E-Class. For a car so big, it's surprisingly very easy to drive. So it's a great drive and I'm enjoying myself driving this car for sure. I've been to Rajasthan a couple of times before, and why I really love driving here is the contrasts. These modern highways pass through villages from another century and end up in towns with narrow lanes and regal palaces. And where else would you find a traffic jam caused by camels? Rajasthan really brings clichés to life. So I'm about to come to Beawar, which is a small town, and what I want to do here is to pick up and taste some of its very famous tilpatti. All I know is that it's sweet, round and flat, and I must try it. But first, I have to find it. भैया, ये तिलपत्ती कहाँ मिलेगा? तिलपत्ती
आपको सीधा बस स्टैंड आएगा।
हाँ,
बस स्टैंड पे आपको दिख जाएगी।
तिलपत्ती कहाँ मिलेगा?
तिलपट्टी हाँ आगे मेली चौराहे पर।
The small town of Beawar, tucked away on the NH8 highway, seems to have more shops selling tilpatti than anything else. आप ही खत्री जी हो?
जी जी।
आप मुझे प्लीज तिलपत्ती दिखाओगे?
जी। ये होता तिलपट्टी।
It's translucent. It's that thin.
ट्रांसपेरेंट बोलते हैं, आर पार दिखने वाला।
Transparent बोलते हैं इसको।
एकदम पतला बनता है ये।
अच्छा।
हाँ, ये सिर्फ ब्यावर में बनता है, ऑल ओवर इंडिया में कहीं नहीं बनता है।
सिर्फ ब्यावर में?
सिर्फ ब्यावर में।
क्यों, ऐसा क्यों?
कुछ क्लाइमेट का फर्क है।
तो राजस्थान में भी सिर्फ ब्यावर में मिलता है?
सिर्फ ब्यावर।
और सिर्फ एक किस्म का तिलपत्ती
नहीं,
होता है?
3 वैरायटी का होता है इसमें। एक ये ड्राई फ्रूट वाला होता है,
ओके।
पिस्ता इलायची वाला होता है,
हाँ।
एक इलायची वाला होता है।
ये बनता कैसे है?
ये हाथ से बनता है, जैसे चपाती बेलते हैं ना,
हाँ।
उसी तरह कारीगर होते हैं वो बनाते हैं।
बहुत सॉफ्ट भी है,
हाँ,
टूट
एकदम
गया
सॉफ्ट
already।
होता है। और एक ये प्लेन होता है।
अच्छा, मैं एक ट्राई कर सकती हूँ?
हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल लीजिए आप, ये इसमें से लीजिए आप।
सबसे बेस्ट वाला ये
सबसे
है?
बेस्ट वाला।
I said it's a must try and I've tried my tilpatti. For those of you who are diet conscious and health conscious, I don't know how much of it you can eat because it's really sweet. बहुत ज़्यादा चीनी है क्या इसमें?
नहीं तो?
लेकिन चीनी है।
हाँ, चीनी है।
से बनता तो है ना?
हाँ, चीनी।
Like you've heard Mr. Khatri telling us that it's made with a lot of sugar. If you're here in Biawar, you have to try it, but please take it away from me. I don't know how much more I can eat of this because it's very tempting. So another must do, or rather a must buy, is marble from this particular region in Rajasthan. They're famous for it because it's good and you get it at really cheap rates. So if you're here and you're smart enough, this is something you definitely should buy. So past this little place called Bar, spelled as bar as in Chandni Bar but pronounced as Bar, we've come to a little fork. Now both routes lead me to Jodhpur, but I am going to take the one on my right, which is the NH12. Not only because it's the shorter route, but also because it takes me past the Chhatrasagar resort at Nimaj. That is where a royal designer is waiting to meet me, and I'm not even wearing a bandgala. So sweet. Chhatrasagar, which is a lake, is situated near Nimaj. It was built by an erstwhile nobleman who decided to construct a dam on a seasonal stream flowing through his estate. It soon became an oasis, especially famous for attracting migratory birds. Nowadays, it's a resort with luxury tents right next to the lake. So this is the Chhatrasagar Lake Resort where we're going to be meeting our guest with true blue royal roots, Mr. Raghavendra Rathore. Hi Raghavendra, how are you?
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad we're meeting here because I've never been to this place and I think it's beautiful. Can you tell me something about the Chhatrasagar Resort?
Well, I think what's really caught my attention is the resurrection of heritage. Both Nandi and Harsh have actually gone into the heritage, taken something which is dilapidated and done some wonderful, and done it so aesthetically, which is what really draws me back again to this place. So it's really the invention of the young Indian old world, new world thing which really
Mix.
excites me and makes Chhatrasagar what it is. I mean, it's historical in its origins, of course, with the whole Jodhpur and Nimaj connection. But more important is how they have conceived using gobar on the flooring and
Really?
it's just interesting and
Oh wow, that's very interesting. I never thought of that. Do you come here really often since you like it so
well,
much?
it's very close to home, so and he serves a very good meal. They really are great cooks, both of them. So it's my wife and my children manage to get out more than I do, but it's a great place to take 3 days off and
3
disconnect.
days. You come and spend 3 days here
Well, you got to disconnect
from the world.
from the world
and your work.
And just look at it. I mean, you see pelicans migrate from God knows where.
It's amazing. I've never seen something like this before. And like you said, they're great cooks, and this place is beautiful. As much as I would like to stay here, we must continue to Jodhpur. So I
Yes.
think that's what we should do. And I'm sure I'm going to come back really soon.
I hope so.
I'm being driven by a star, Raghavendra Rathore, and we are on our way to Jodhpur. Wow, so this is your living room.
My school got bombed very early, the 71 war. You could hang effortlessly on that zip line.
Welcome back to Follow the Star. Although right now I'm being driven by a star, Raghavendra Rathore, and we are on our way to Jodhpur. Being the chivalrous Rajput that he is, Raghavendra Rathore insisted that he drive, and I certainly didn't mind. We had started off our journey from Ajmer this morning, had a quick, really sweet breakfast of tilpatis at Biawar. Then I took a small detour to the Chhatrasagar resort near Nimaj, where we met with Jodhpur's famous son, Raghavendra Rathore. So Raghavendra, tell me, how often do you drive to Jodhpur?
You know, my childhood was all excursions to the village with my father. He was very actively in politics and grew up literally spending myself around the Jeep and SUV. So, and later years when I was building my little business, I don't think we had the luxury of having flights. So the best way to do was just drive and experience. I think it was a great experience and charming. So much you see, and you see this lovely country change and evolve. Otherwise, you really just miss this whole evolution completely. When you fly, you don't really see what's going on.
So you've been driving for years now to Jodhpur. What do you enjoy the most about the drive?
I think the luxury to be able to make a decision to stop and have
A meal at the dhaba.
Yeah, I mean this dhaba meal thing is such an amazing.
Do you actually stop at dhabas any?
Yeah, I do, and I encourage my little ones to also. You know.
What was your first car?
My first car that I drove was the one I fixed, and so from the, taking egg and shots at targets made on the door, I took this whole 1947 MG apart, and I, with my father's help, got under the hood and fixed it.
Wow,
It
that's
was,
amazing. You fixed your own car?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very good mechanic, if you know what I'm saying. So, but so to me, yes, it is a relic, but it was my first car that I drove around.
Tell me something. I'd really like to know, what sort of a traveler are you? Like a resort kind or an explorer?
I think I would like to be an explorer, but time is a huge problem in our everyday lives, and I think to be able to take time out and be able to do that would be the ideal dream.
So you've been traveling for work for so many years now, and I'm sure otherwise as well. What, according to you, do you like the most about traveling? What's the best part?
Well, the uncertainty is number one, and if you're driving in your travels, then I think the ability to stop your car at will, I think, and explore. You can just take a left turn here and go into the interior and discover some old fort. Travel is also a sharpener for people in my profession. If you travel extensively, you tend to pick up a lot of ideas and values from elsewhere and incorporate them into your work.
So what I've figured from our conversation is you're a very road journey kind of a person, and that's what you love the most about traveling, actually.
I do. Secretly, I would like to be able to get out every weekend and explore.
Jodhpur finally. I've only been here once, and the strongest memory is that of the vivid blue houses that are spread across the city. But first up, I was going to Ajit Bhavan, Raghavendra's palatial home, to get a peek into his lifestyle. Wow, so this is your living room.
Childhood memories, full of childhood memories and lots of history.
So tell me something about your childhood.
Well, I think in a nutshell, I'm completely a Jodhpur boy and a lot of outdoor experiences to say that. My school got bombed very early, the 71 war. So I was moved to boarding school
Okay.
and learned all my tricks there, I suppose.
But I read somewhere that you grew up in the Zenana. What?
So you can see the jalis where my grandmother used to watch probably all the negotiations because my grandfather was the Prime Minister of Jodhpur.
Okay.
So all the official work must have happened in these rooms down here. And when we were little kids, the Zenana house was guarded by two very special people, and they made sure that no men crossed over. But I could, get past that. So it was a great moment of. I was the messenger between the boys downstairs and the ladies upstairs because I was really young.
So you've said very clearly that you're a Jodhpur boy. Do you use anything that is locally made? Do you source anything in your designs, in your clothes?
Well, it's the handwork of most of our clothes are made in Jodhpur. So you have a lot of the workmanship that transport itself into the clothes. But I keep it pan-India. Maybe it's a story around the old world, but it's very important not to get stuck in the old world only. You have to think of modern India. You have to be a stakeholder in the
And
contemporary
give it
India.
a balanced mix.
Absolutely, and that's what is cutting edge.
So for a traveler, for example me today, what would you suggest I must do in Jodhpur or must buy in Jodhpur?
See, essentially, you should visit the palace, the Umaid Bhavan Palace, and the beautiful and very well restored fort on the hill, and of course the city. And if you're adventurous, you can hang effortlessly on that zip line and actually try that experience. It's one of its kind, I think. Be careful though. You wouldn't want to hear.
Hopefully we'll be safe. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting us into your home and sharing your experiences with us. It was great meeting you. It's an honor, in fact.
Pleasure.
And I should really go check out the zip line. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Take care.
Raghavendra Rathore telling me to give ziplining a shot and I don't do it? Not possible. And that too at the impressive Mehrangarh Fort. Mehrangarh Fort is one of the largest forts in India, entirely made of red sandstone. Perched on a hill 400 feet above the skyline of Jodhpur, this place seems ideal for ziplining. The zipline tour, run by Flying Fox, is quite popular here. It has 6 zips that circle around the fort, offering the best views of the city. I'm here at the right time. It's almost sunset and the view is breathtaking. I feel at the top of the world and the city to me like a splash of blue in the midst of a desert. With the wind in my hair, a truly royal sunset, and a zipline to the past. Thus ended my first leg of the journey, complete with an unusual suite, a royal designer, and such beautiful views. I can only wonder if my next leg to Udaipur can top this. But right now, life is certainly beautiful.